Okay, hey guys, this is Dr. Moore.
And Dr. Savone.
We always do videos about once every couple weeks. This week we are switching it up. We're going to do an impromptu Q&A session. Dr. Savone introduced me to this website online that almost like keeps track of the most commonly asked questions about a subject. So I surprised him this morning and got on there and got a couple of questions that people commonly ask about chiropractic, and we're going to kind of spitball them back and forth. So we're going to do kind of the top 5 questions I've come up with here. The first question, not an easy one, but people ask, what do chiropractors do?
Yeah, you're right. It's not an easy one.
Yep.
Okay. I think it's changed over the years. They've always kind of had this view of chiropractors as like glorified back crackers, neck crackers, whatever.
Yep.
And I think it's still, to this day, like depending on who you ask, one chiropractor to another, it kind of varies. So I'm just kind of basing it off of what we do here.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I would say we are manual therapists. We're using our hands to fix problems. What problems are those? Any neuromusculoskeletal condition. Could be the neck, could be the spine, but it could be an extremity. So really we're using our hands to fix muscle problems, nerve problems, joint problems, however that may be.
Yeah, I like that answer. I usually try and summarize it as we help people, like you said, with muscle, nerve, or joint problems, especially if it's like a mobility problem. So if something isn't moving enough, or if it's moving too much, we try and help the patient with that, kind of with our hands, to solve those problems that typically cause, pain, whether it's muscle pain, joint pain, radiating, numbness, tingling, things like that.
And I think something that's come on, especially in the last couple of years, is people are starting to realize that chiropractors are working with stability problems too. So yes, we're performing the adjustments and doing the muscle work to loosen things up and get you moving better.
Yep.
But a lot of times these pains are coming from joints and muscles that are too loose and moving too much and they're unstable. So we're building in some of this functional rehab stuff to help that pain too.
Yep, you can have to. There's such a thing as too much of a good thing. Okay, so question number 2, and we kind of just talked about this. Which problems can chiropractic help me with? So,
yeah, I mean, I would say those neuromusculoskeletal problems are kind of our wheelhouse, our bread and butter things.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, we see it every day where someone walks in and they have some systemic condition that might be causing them muscle aches or might be causing them to walk a little funny. So, can we directly help some of these bigger problems? No, but if they got some issues that are coming up because of those problems and we can improve their quality of life with that, we're kind of supposed to do that. I mean, it's the best we can do for them. So
right.
It's hard to say what can't we help with,
Mm-hmm.
but I would say more of those systemic big term problems we tend to get away from a little bit.
I gotcha. Okay. Question number 3. How often should I see a chiropractor?
Man, picking all the tough ones today.
Not an easy one.
I think it really varies person to person. It's hard for me to say, oh, you have this problem and you're this age, so I need to see you this many times. Mm-hmm. It's not that cookie cutter. It's very, okay, you have this problem, let me assess it and see how severe it is, and let's assess everything else you got going on with that. Mm-hmm. So it's an individualized treatment here in our office. So you might have a problem that it takes 3, 4, 5 visits to kind of fix, but somebody else might have that same problem that takes me 8, 9, 10 visits to fix. So it's a day by day sort of thing. We assess you, we see how you're going, and we kind of fix it based off that. If you need more visits, we'll go with more. If you need less, then we dial it back. Long term, I like to see people maybe once we fix a problem, once a month, mm-hmm. twice or every other month sort of thing, just as like some maintenance work. It's like changing the oil in your car then. We're just trying to prevent some of these problems from coming on.
Right. So it sounds like what you're saying is kind of depends on how often you need to see a chiropractor as like what your problem is. So it's not the same for every person. And also like what you're saying as far as like maintenance, like we as chiropractors kind of have this negative stigma that sometimes comes across where once you go and see one, you have to see them over and over forever. But it's really, it kind of varies by patient to patient. And I use this analogy all the time. It's like we all know that person who never has any dental problems. Like they don't have to go to a dentist like every so often. They've never had to have any fillings, anything like that. they just have good teeth, whether it's genetics or lifestyle. And it's kind of the same with chiropractic. Some people don't have to see a chiropractor regularly to feel great, but others kind of need a tune up every once in a while. It just kind of varies.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we're giving, here at our office, we're giving you exercises, we're giving you stretches and things to work on at home. We're giving you dietary advice, lifestyle changes, that sort of thing. So if you're good at doing those things and it's taking care of your problems, good. You don't need to come into the office and see us. But if you're a little lazy with it, or your work schedule or your life schedule just doesn't work out for you to do those things and these problems kind of creep on you, then maybe you need to come in every now and then.
Perfect. Got it. Next question. Can chiropractic help with arthritis?
Short answer, yes. Obviously, there's multiple different types of arthritis. I think most people kind of think of this wear and tear sort of arthritis. And it's not going anywhere. That's the bad part with arthritis. Is once it's set in, it's there. It's not really going anywhere. I always describe it to my patients as a rusty hinge on a door. And unless you're going to replace that rusty hinge with a new one, which would be a joint replacement in the body, like I said, it's not going anywhere. But can we WD-40 those hinges? Can we move it a little bit to get it greased up so it's moving better? Yeah, absolutely. And that's where some of the adjustments and the stretching and exercise comes in. But more so even then is you got to pull harder on a rusty hinge on that door to get it to move. So these muscles that are around these rusty hinge joints, these arthritic joints, are tightening up more often. They're getting overworked more often. The scar tissue starting to set in around these things and grab on the nerves and muscles and joints and things like that. So it just takes a little more frequent care, I would say, to kind of maintenance that stuff and get rid of it.
Right. We might not necessarily be able to undo the damage that's been done, but we can certainly make those arthritic joints move better, and that means less pain from the joint.
Right. And then obviously it gets a little more complicated when you start talking about some of the systemic stuff like rheumatoid arthritis or some of those things. But that doesn't mean we can't help it at all. That's where things like a good anti-inflammatory diet and limiting the inflammation that's going on in the body, period, can help with some of those things. And obviously we do that in our office too, so we can always help out with those things.
Very good, very good. Okay, last one. Let's see. Do chiropractors hate it when when their patients say things like, can you crack my spine or can you pop my back?
I would say when I was first out of school, a little early on, yes, I was trying to prove everyone to how smart I was, and that's not what we do anymore. We're not just cracking backs and things like that. Nowadays, not so much. Obviously, I'm doing more than that, and the best way to describe it to someone is just to do it on them. And as long as they're comfortable with me doing the muscle work and that sort of thing, we work into that. But I think you see the same thing too. Once you start with that stuff and people realize, oh, that's my problem. He's doing this muscle work, he's doing this nerve release stuff, he's doing these rehab exercises, and that's making my problem better. They tend to shy away from that. Oh, can you just adjust me today?
Right.
I think it'd be the opposite, actually. They come in and they're like, we're not getting muscle work done today. We're not doing exercise today. Like.
Yeah. I think typically, if chiropractors pick, we call it an adjustment. I think they kind of shy away from the popping or the cracking, like, use of the word, just because it kind of it almost seems like it's not specific, and we try to be very specific with what we're doing as far as moving joints. So, but yeah, very cool. All right, well, that's all 5 of them. Hey, if you liked this format, if you liked us kind of just talking over some questions, make sure to let us know. Leave the video a like if you liked it, or share it if you feel like it. Check out more about our office if you're curious. At our website is cumberlandspine.com. But this has been Dr. Moore.
And I'm Dr. Cervone.
You have a great rest of your week.